Hello everyone, Boba Cup Noodle here. Welcome to my Skyrim spells showcase. Today's video will be showcasing some new spells from the mod Arcanum, a new age of magic. Arcanum is a Skyrim spell mods that's available for both Skyrim Legendary Edition and Special Editions. It was originally uploaded in 2019, but recently got an update with more than 100 new spells, specifically the addition of illusion spells. In this video, I will be showcasing some of the new illusion spells added in this update. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first up, we have a novice spell called Cleansing Meditation. It's sort of like a healing spell. It restores your health, but it also restores your stamina, and you get increased armor and magic resist while casting it. And after you finish casting the spells, it will send out a shockwave that deal magic damage and stagger enemies. So let's test out the spells on two bandits. It's like the healing spells, as you can see the effects, except it's green, and you also regen stamina when you're casting this. And after you finish casting it sends out a shockwave that staggers the enemies and deals some damage. Let's try this again. You can see the two bandits got staggered. Next up, we have another novice illusion spell called Cofounder. It increases your magic regenerations, but not only that, it gives you 3 powerful effects at randoms. So let's try this out. So you can see on top of my head, I now have 3 circles looking like 3 different moons on top of my head. Very nice effects. And if you go to your active effects, you can actually see a buff that you got at random. In this case, I got Bull Rush. It increased my attack damage and movement speed, but also reduced my armor. Since it's completely random, you can sometimes get effects that's not so good. Alright, next up we have Spell Shot Repeaters. What I really like about this illusion update is that it adds spells not just for mage, but for other type of playstyles as well. And this is an example. Spell Shot Repeaters for 30 seconds. Every time you fire a bow or a crossbow, it sends out 1 to 4 illusion arrows that deal physical damage and reduce armors. So let's try this out. Spell Shot Repeaters. After you cast it, you have some really nice cooling like magical circles effects surrounding you. So while this effect is active,
Now ain't this a surprise?
every time you shoot an arrow, there's additional illusionary arrows. As you can see, on the bandit's body, as you can see, there's green arrows. Let me shoot one more time. Let me shoot one more time. You can see it shoots additional arrows every time. So it's a very nice spells especially if you play an archer. And this is how the spell shot repeater looks like in first person. As you can see, it still looks very nice even in first person. Next up, we have an adept skill called Delusive Smokescreen. It will conjure a smokescreen that lasts for some times, and you are invisible and gain additional movement speed while you are inside, and other people inside the smokescreen are slowed by 40%. So let's try out the smokescreen. As you can see, after you cast the spells, there's smoke screens circling around you, and while you are inside, you are invisible. But if you go outside for a certain amount of time, you can see you'll become visible again. But if you go back in, you'll become invisible again. And the enemy within this smoke screen will have reduced movement speed. Meanwhile, if you are inside the smoke screen, you get additional movement speed. Next up, we have another adept skill called Mind Dilations. It increases your max magicka and restore a certain amount of magicka every seconds for a period of times. However, in exchange, you get reduced armor, reduced magic resist, and you lose a lot of movement speed. So let's try Mind Stylation. After you cast it, there's 6 magical looking orbs surrounding you. However, you do have a lot of debuff like reduced armor, reduced magic resist, and reduced movement speed. As you can see, my character is moving very slowly. But after the effects ran out, your movement speed is back to normal. Okay, now on to expert spells. We have Ageless Insights. They increase your max magicka, and additionally, every time you cast 3 spells, you will cast an additional random spells. So this is how Ageless Insights look. After you cast it, you have 5 circles spinning on top of your heads, and if you look closely, each circle is actually symbolize different schools of magics. And while this buff is active, when I try to cast spells 3 times, 1, 2, 3, as you can see there was an additional spells being casted. Let's cast another 3 times. And as you can see, a random spell is casted. And I believe the spells that's being casted is randomly chosen from all the spells in Arcanum. Next up, we have another expert spells called Overwhelming Insights. It shoots out an orb that deals magic damage plus additional damage that's 100% the difference between your magic card and the target's magic card. This is how the spells look like. It's a blue orb, and after it hits, you'll have a pretty cool splash effects. Let's try this out on some bandits.
Time to die!
As you can see, it deals a lot of damage if you have high magicka because you get additional damage based on magicka difference. Next up, we have an expert spell called Spotter's Strix. It sends out an illusion burst that attach onto an enemy, and for 15 seconds, the enemy will have reduced armor and reduced magic resist. So I'm gonna cast this on my followers. And as you can see, after my follower is hit, there's a bird floating on top of her, a green illusion burst. And while under this effects, whatever is being hit by this debuff will have reduced armor and reduced magic resist. The last expert spell we have is Thought Reflections. You can cast this onto a target, and after you cast it, your own spell power is reduced by 25%. However, during this time, any spell you cast are cast from the targets as well. Try these spells on my followers. As you can see, after you cast it, there's a green circle on top of me and my followers. Now every time I try to cast a spells, my followers will cast the same spells as me. As you can see, as I use an ice spell, my follower was also shooting out an ice spell. And this works for any level of spells, so even if I cast a master spells, as you can see, it also works. So instead of just one huge fireball, there's 2 huge fireballs. However, you do have the debuff that you lose 25% of your spell powers. Now onto the master spells, we have Memento Mori. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. It will curse the target for a certain amount of time, and while it's active, for every 7 seconds, the target will take magical damage equal to the amount of damage the target has taken during the time. So again, try this out on my followers. So now if I attack the cursed target, every 7 seconds she'll take additional damage. As you can see there was additional damage numbers popping off. The next master spell we have is Spark of the Master, a pillar of lights that's going to deal damage plus additional damage based on the target's max health. And it will use 15% of your max magicka per second, but you are invulnerable when you are casting it. So let's test these spells out on an Ancestor Troll. magic up by quite fast. And the last master spell we have is a Vow of Silence. All units within 60 feet are silenced for some times, and they will be unable to cast any spells. However, you are also silenced when you cast these spells. So here's how Vow of Silence look. After you cast it, there will be a huge purple circle spinning on top. And as you can see, me and my followers now have like a purple effects on our body. If I try to cast any spells during this time, as you can see, my animation will get cancelled. I won't be able to cast the spells I want. And this lasts all the way until the times run out. And just as a little bonus, I will be showcasing a Master Healing spells or a Master Restoration spells that's called Exalted Armament. It grants you armor and magic resist for 6 hits, and after it expire, if the shield is not broken, you'll get additional 75% attack damage, and your next 6 attacks will send out a Holy Sword. So let's see how this healing restoration spells look. As you can see, it has very cool effects of holy swords surrounding your bodies as a shield. After it expires, if your shield is not broken, then the shields will turn into holy swords floating behind your body. That's it for today's video. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. I also stream Skyrim special editions with more than 100 mods including Arcanum's. Link to the stream is down in the descriptions if you're interested to check it out. Lastly, comment down below what is your favorite spells from the Arcanum 3.0 updates. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!